The morning mist still clung to the ground when I received a call at dawn from a farmer living near the edge of the forest. His trembling voice described the terrifying scene of a herd of wild boars storming through, tearing apart cornfields, wrecking barns, and striking fear into his family. This wasn't the first time. These beasts not only devastate crops, but also throw the lives of villagers into chaos, leaving them sleepless night after night. Hearing his plea, my team and I immediately packed our gear, checked our rifles, and set off. This was not just another hunt. Today, we carried the responsibility of an entire community on our shoulders. Could we finally put an end to this nightmare called wild boars? Let's hunt. After a quick discussion, we agreed to start at the dense woods, an area where wild boars often appear, leaving deep tracks on the damp earth. The whole team tensed, waiting for the first encounter with the destroyers. We hid among the thickets, the air thick with silence, broken only by our restrained breaths. 10 long minutes passed, until suddenly the ground began to tremble, faint at first, then stronger. From behind the great bushes, a massive herd of wild boars burst out, dark figures surging forward like a violent flood. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle and fired. A decisive shot dropped the first target on the spot. The herd scattered in panic, leaving the forest torn and chaotic. What do you think of that opening shot? If it were you, would you have kept your cool staring down a charging herd that size? Elsewhere, my teammate Jack was already in position. Amidst the chaos, a lone boar dashed forward, right into his sights. His first shot tore through the air, but only grazed the beast, making it bolt even faster. Calmly, he steadied himself and fired again. The second bullet struck clean. The animal stumbled, skidded across the leaves, and slammed lifelessly against a tree trunk. Determined not to let the herd escape, we followed the fresh tracks pressed into the wet ground. Suddenly, the sharp cries of our hounds pierced the silence, clear signs that the target was close. We rushed toward the sound. In a clearing, a furious boar was surrounded, hemmed in tightly by the dogs. No way out. I raised my rifle, pulled the trigger. A thunderous blast echoed. The beast collapsed instantly. The tense chase in the forest was over. You see, these monsters don't stand a chance, not when we're here. With the forest cleared, we pushed onward toward the northern hillside, driving our off-road truck up rugged terrain. Splitting into groups, we moved carefully along the slopes, bracing for any sudden encounter. From my vantage point high above, I scanned the slope. Amid the thick brush, a massive, dark figure crept forward. Unlucky for it, every step had already entered my sights. I took a deep breath, raised my rifle, and squeezed the trigger coldly. A deafening shot cracked the air. The beast staggered and dropped in an instant. For a moment, the entire hillside fell into breathless silence. Do you see? Once they're in my sights, there's no escape. Meanwhile, across the hill, another teammate had locked onto a panicked boar tearing through the undergrowth. His first shot missed in the chaos, but just a heartbeat later, his second rang out precise and clean. The animal cried out, skidded across the dirt, and lay still in the brush. It seemed the chase had ended, but no. Look, from the open ground below, a black shadow suddenly burst out at incredible speed. I couldn't let this one escape. Quickly drawing it into close range, I fired. Bang! The echo rolled across the hill. The beast froze, then collapsed right there on the spot. And with that, the last boar of the day was taken down, closing this tense but thrilling hunt. On the way back home, our team finally allowed ourselves a sigh of relief. Every track, every ambush had tested our patience and resolve. More importantly, this hunt was carried out entirely within the legal framework of the region, aimed at protecting crops and restoring ecological balance. For completing this mission, we owe heartfelt thanks to the local villagers whose support was invaluable. If you enjoy intense moments like these, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next hunting adventure.
The elders in our village always said that once wild hogs catch the scent of food, they won't stop until they've destroyed everything. I never believed it. Until the garden behind my house turned into a battlefield, trees gnawed down, soil uprooted, everything in chaos. I couldn't stand by any longer. Anger surged within me. Tonight, I decided to hunt them down and put an end to this nightmare. In Texas, where we live, the wild hog problem has become severe. The hog population has exceeded 3 million, spreading across all 254 counties and causing immense damage to agriculture and property. Economically, the estimated annual losses reach $500 million, including the destruction of crops, irrigation systems, and fences, leading to failed harvests and increased management costs for farmers. We set out in the late afternoon, heading toward a vast 5,000-hectare field where an intense hunt was about to take place. This was the time when local farmers were preparing for a new planting season, yet they lived in constant fear. Wild hogs could appear at any moment, undoing all their hard work. We immediately checked our weapons, loaded our ammunition, and prepared for battle. Look at this. The sun had barely set, and already the hogs were storming out, wreaking havoc. But with a distance of nearly 500 meters, we couldn't shoot just yet. We needed to get closer. At just 40 meters away, two of us crawled forward to avoid detection. Every movement had to be slow and precise. After careful consideration, I locked onto a wild hog and aimed for its head. But at that moment, their keen instincts kicked in. The herd froze, sensed danger, and quickly fled. Their sharp sense of smell was their greatest weapon, helping them escape in an instant. We still had a chance. On the opposite side, one lone hog continued feasting, unaware of the threat. With no time to hesitate, I pulled the trigger. a deafening shot rang out. Perfect. The hog dropped instantly. After half an hour of patrolling the fields, I finally spotted the next targets. The hogs were scattered, foraging for leftover grains on the ground. I've always had a preference for the bigger ones. Taking them down was both a challenge and a trophy worth boasting about. We took our shots. One by one, the hogs fell, their bodies littering the field. Learning from our previous shot, we positioned ourselves downwind to avoid detection. Crouching behind a bush, I quietly observed a larger herd of wild hogs. My eyes locked onto the lead sow. That was my main target. These sows reproduce rapidly, so eliminating them would help control the population. It took nearly 10 minutes of observation as the herd kept moving, making it difficult to get a clear shot. But the moment a single shot rang out, the herd panicked and bolted. This time, however, it wouldn't be enough to save them. Gunfire erupted, cutting off all escape routes. The wild hogs dropped on the spot. What a thrilling hunt! Last night was just the beginning. Tonight, we were determined to hunt an even bigger prize. Through my thermal scope, I tracked the dark silhouette of a wild hog as it quietly moved toward the bait we had set earlier. With a distance of over 100 meters, I had enough time to observe, adjust my stance, and find the optimal shooting angle. The moment the hog stepped into my crosshairs, I took the shot, a clean kill. Nearby, more shadows moved, but they, too, soon met their fate. Wild hogs, driven by hunger, couldn't resist the aroma of food. One by one, then in groups, they gathered, completely unaware of the impending danger. Seizing the opportunity, the two of us took precise aim and fired. Through the scope, we saw their bodies collapse motionless on the ground. After the deafening gunfire, the entire field fell into an eerie silence. We thought that was it, but the hogs here were more abundant and reckless than I had imagined. Not far from us, I stumbled upon yet another large herd, each one big and covered in coarse bristles. My hunting partner and I weren't about to let this opportunity slip away. We opened fire, one shot after another. By the time it was over, not a single one had escaped. Tonight, I encountered more wild hogs than I expected, but even with our efforts, the numbers barely made it. With the situation as it is, I'll have to continue my night hunts to protect my land. Thank you all for following today's hunt. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Have you ever wondered how thrilling it would be to hunt wild boars with a bow and arrow? No deafening gunfire, no long-range advantage, just me, my bow, and a massive beast lurking deep in the forest. This time, I'm facing the largest wild boar I've ever encountered, a true giant with razor-sharp tusks and a thick, rugged coat. A single mistake, and I could become the hunted instead of the hunter. But can just one arrow be enough to take down this formidable beast? Watch until the very last second. This is going to be a heart-pounding battle for survival. Wild boars belong to the Suidae family and are widely distributed across Europe, Asia, North Africa, and North America. They are the ancestors of domesticated pigs and are known for their remarkable ability to survive in the wild. Not only do they thrive in forests and vast fields, but they can also inhabit swamps. Boars are excellent swimmers and often wade through shallow waters to bathe in mud, cooling their bodies while protecting themselves from parasites. These swampy areas provide an abundant food source, including roots, tubers, insects, frogs, fish, and carrion. Dense swamps serve as an ideal hiding place, shielding them from human activity and predators like wolves and bears. However, their excessive reproduction has led to severe ecological damage. We couldn't just stand by and watch, we had to take action immediately. As sunlight filtered through the dense canopy, we embarked on a challenging hunt, this time armed with bows instead of firearms. Following faint tracks imprinted in the soft mud, we spotted a large, healthy boar, weighing around 80 kilograms, foraging obliviously. This was our chance. My partner tightened his grip on the bow. The arrow was in position, only waiting for the perfect moment. Suddenly, the boar sensed something. It raised its head, eyes glinting with suspicion, and then bolted like a whirlwind. The first shot missed. Damn it, it escaped. We continued tracking, determined to seize another opportunity. Patience, that was the key to victory in this battle between man and nature. And after a nerve-wracking pursuit, the beast finally fell. Our hunt didn't stop there. Over the next 2 hours, we secured several more successful kills. Venturing deeper into the swamp, the muddy terrain made maneuvering difficult, especially with a bow. We positioned ourselves high in the trees for better concealment and a perfect vantage point. Below, an automatic feeder had been set up, acting as the perfect bait to lure in unsuspecting wild boars. As expected, it didn't take long before an entire herd arrived, drawn by the scent of food. They rustled through the mud, eagerly searching for scattered corn. I quietly raised my bow, aiming for the largest and strongest one in the group. My focus sharpened as I prepared for the decisive shot. The first arrow flew, but missed. The entire herd panicked and scattered. The dominant boar, the strongest of them all, vanished into the dense brush. Luckily, the smaller ones hadn't gone far. The lingering scent of food tempted them back. This was our second chance. I pulled back the bowstring, eyes locked onto my target, and released. But no! Another miss. Frustration surged through me, but I reminded myself, bow hunting has never been easy. Determined to redeem ourselves, we set out again the next day, ready for another thrilling chase. And there they were, for wild boars, a promising target. This time, our meticulous preparation gave us the upper hand. I took a deep breath, drew back my bowstring, and took aim. The arrow shot like lightning, striking the boar dead center. It crashed violently before collapsing. A surge of triumph coursed through me. The tension and anticipation melted away, replaced by sheer exhilaration. The morning sun cast golden beams over the vast swamp, painting the scene with a raw, untamed beauty. The air was crisp, carrying the earthy scent of damp soil. I locked onto my target, a massive boar digging through the dirt, completely unaware of the danger looming. To maximize our chances, we waded into the swamp, mud sucking at our boots as we moved closer. But the boar, cunning as ever, suddenly changed direction, forcing us to quicken our pace. My heart pounded with every step. Then, a moment of truth. I cut ahead, blocking its path. My grip tightened on the bow, my breath steady. There was no room for hesitation. I aimed at its weak spot and let the arrow fly. A perfect shot. The beast fell instantly. Our specialized vehicle rumbled through the muddy terrain, bringing us deeper into hunting grounds. Without delay, the team set up bait and prepared for an intense showdown. After over an hour of patient waiting, the first boar appeared, moving cautiously toward the trap. Peering through binoculars, we spotted an entire herd following its trail, closing in. My pulse quickened as I gripped my bow, pulling the string back to full draw. The arrow whistled through the air, striking true. Got it. But the hunt wasn't over. Seizing the opportunity, we continued claiming our prizes. Tonight would be a true feast. In the end, a single precise arrow was all it took to bring down the colossal wild boar in an instant. This hunt was both thrilling and exhausting, but we were proud of what we accomplished. Our relentless efforts played a crucial role in managing this destructive wild species. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.
Wild boars reproduce uncontrollably, devastate crops, and pose a serious threat to the local ecosystem. Faced with that reality, our hunting team was forced to deploy the most effective strategy: airborne pursuit by helicopter. Every flight is a battle, where speed, tactics, and reflexes must be pushed to the limit. There's no room for hesitation in this war. Once a target is locked, it must be taken down. Over the horizon as we lift off. The helicopter gently vibrates as it carries us into the sky. Only a few minutes into the flight, we spot our first target. A herd of large, fat boars are charging ahead at breakneck speed. They zigzag constantly, but their hoof prints in the sand betray them, revealing every movement. No matter how many times they change direction, my rifle doesn't waver. Wherever they go, our helicopter follows close behind. One by one, the boars fall under a continuous rain of gunfire. Just as planned, not a single target is missed. As we advance into the grasslands and denser forests, the chopper continually adjusts its altitude with flexibility, giving us a clear vantage point. The moment I spot a herd of boars below, I steady my grip and unleash a rapid burst of gunfire. Though the helicopter sways slightly, we maintain our calm and precise aim. Most of the wild boars drop, though a few clever ones manage to escape in time. My God, they just keep coming. We fired countless rounds just to bring them down. It's hard to imagine the destruction this field would face if we didn't take them out. The number of boars on the field is overwhelming, forcing us to circle back several times to finish the job thoroughly. The withered corn rows after harvest blend into the dark color of the boars, making them hard to spot at a glance. The roar of the helicopter alerts them to danger, and they bolt at full speed. We use every second to lock on, take aim, and fire quickly. Not a single one escapes. Open terrain and sparse forest like this make it easier to pinpoint the boar's exact location. However, they no longer move in herds. They've scattered in all directions, reacting instantly to the roar of the helicopter above. A tense showdown unfolds. With precise, relentless shots, the boars are taken down one after another, quickly and efficiently. This hunt is not just a test of stamina, but a battle of wits, patience, and the ability to make split-second decisions. Dense forests are considered safe zones by the boars, places to hide and escape danger. So, we circle around, deliberately pushing them toward the forest's edge, then swiftly give chase. Let's see where they think they can run now. Before our icy muzzles, the wild boars are swiftly eliminated. Speeds up to 50 kilometers h and incredible agility, wild boars aren't easy target. The helicopter gives us the edge in visibility, but it still has to constantly adjust course to keep up with their zigzagging route. But this time, the hunting team triumphed. Even darting like black arrows, the boars couldn't escape our deadly shots. Skill, experience, and decisive action helped us complete the mission flawlessly. Approaches, we head to the open field. The cool dusk air stirs the boars into frenzied activity, and it energizes us too. In just a few short minutes, an unknown number of wild boars are taken down in a rapid-fire sequence of shots. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.